Welcome. Episode 19, BBL Sports Talk.
Got special guest Seth with us today.
Two special guests of the pod today. We got Rebelette Ty in SEC country. Shout out to Seth. Won the jersey giveaway earlier tonight. Blue collar guy, cornhole champion. Couldn't think of a better guy for the jersey to go to. Got a little 1792 tonight. Excited to get into it. Welcome in. We've got a special guest to kick off the episode tonight. SEC Ty, Rebelette Ty. He's down in the SIP. Ty, real quick, why don't you give an intro to the pod? Height, weight, position.
6'2", 185, cornerback, wide receiver, play both sides.
Damn,
Little Travis Hunter action.
Little Travis, little Trey, a little bit of everything.
Well, welcome. I'm pumped. We've been wanting to do this for a while. Ty, student at Ole Miss. He's got the pre-scoring jersey on there. Massive SEC guy. He's one of those SEC bias guys, so we're going to get into it. I'm sure there's going to be some Big Ten versus the SEC discourse. We're going to start with some college football playoff talk here in a second. But no hot take of the week this week because no listeners submitted hot takes. So just a reminder, if you're watching this, give us a hot take to break down. We need something. We got nothing this week. So please drop them in the comments. Sound off in the comments, if you will. And we'd like to break some crazy takes down next week. So we're going to jump right into the who's who of the week. Ty, as special guest, does have one prepared. Ty, we're not going to make you go first. We're going to make Stark go first today on the who's who.
Okay. Is Cade Cunningham the Tim Duncan of Allen Iverson's?
Jet,
good.
I like that one.
Who's who?
Is Jameis Winston the Tony Robbins of Joe Flacco's?
All right.
Does anyone know who Tony Robbins is?
No.
Look up Tony Robbins. You'll get a good kick out of it. He's the OG motivational speaker.
Okay,
yeah. I got it.
That's what I was thinking. Like how to? Okay. All right, I'm gonna show Tony to the. Yeah, there we go. I know Tony. He was like Andy Elliott before Andy Elliott.
Yes. Yep.
All right. My who's who of the week. Is Jared Goff the Michael Vicks of Peyton Manning's?
I like that one.
Rebelette
That's
Ty.
a good one.
Is Mel Tucker the Urban Meyer of P. Diddy's?
All right. With that being said, I'm sorry. I got to interject with an an unplanned little story here. I went on a date this weekend, and I know there's zero chance this girl watches this podcast. I asked this girl.
You did it, Joe.
I asked this girl why she went to MSU, and you'll never guess her answer in a million years. She said, because of Mel Tucker.
Oh, my God.
I said, no. I say anything but that. And she was like, no, yeah. He saw the photo of him on the field with the she said Lamborghini. I did not think he was on the field with a Lamborghini, but I don't give a fuck about the car. She's like, in the dogs and the cigar, and she's like, that's my coach. I want to go to that school. Because she's from LA. And so yeah, she her choices were like USC, Oregon, and MSU, and she said that she picked MSU because of Mel Tucker. And I was like, well, obviously we hate him now, and she was like, who's we? I still love him. I was like, what? It's the most out of pocket thing. That was how the date started. So that was
Okay,
that was
I don't want to overstep here. Is there going to be a second date?
There will not be, no. There will not be, no. and it's I mean, it was not good. No. I mean, you can't start off a date like that and
That
and
is tough.
have it go well. It was everything went smooth, but just ladies, you don't love Mel Tucker.
Yeah, that's L.A., Eugene, or Lansing. She said, I'm going to go to Lansing.
From LA. She's not like
From LA.
Originally
From
from
LA.
she's
LA.
leaving her family in Lansing to go to LA. No, she left LA to go to East Lansing because Mel Tucker accidentally got Kenneth Walker. And by accident. And he was the GOAT.
And
Dude,
took
did he
a photo.
accidentally get...
All right, that's wild. I appreciate you sharing that, Jet. That's like, we're not going to talk about that
You're
again.
most insane.
What a way to kick off the date. Did you make her pay at least? After a comment like that?
Of course not. We really didn't eat much. We were going to the basketball game. We went and saw MSU beat Bowling Green.
Heck of a game.
So yeah, it was, dude, insane. We don't talk college hoops enough on here because we're predominantly football, but Marcus Johnson for Bowling Green, holy shit, you guys will learn about him more in March. He is a fat baller, dude. He's unreal. He's you should look him up after the pod. He's awesome.
I like the big boys, the big boy ballers. This is the big boys league. This is BBL.
Yeah, it is BBL.
All right. Well, let's get into football. Let's get to the reason we brought Ty on, some college football playoff talk.
Call me asparagus.
I don't know who watched the college football playoff rankings last night, so I'm just going to go through it real quick in case the listeners don't know. Let's go through the bracket. Again, I feel like I have to remind everybody each week because it's kind of confusing how the new playoff system works. So this is how it works. The highest ranked 4 conference champions are going to get byes. So you would think that would be the ACC, the Big 12, the Big 10, and the SEC. But we've got a little bit of a shakeup in the rankings. I'll explain that in a second. Then the highest ranked group of 5 team is going to get in. And then there's 7 at-large bids. So the 7 highest ranked teams after those 5 fill in. The first 4 seeds get a bye. The first round is on the home team's campus. And then after that, everything's played on a neutral field. So here is where the rankings came in last night. We've got Oregon, undefeated, look like. I mean, they're going to have to meet Ohio State again in the Big Ten Championship, but they're the number 1 seed. Texas, number 1 team out of the SEC so far at the 2. Miami in the 3 seed, projected to win the ACC. And then here's the shakeup. Boise State in the 4 seed because they are ranked higher than BYU right now, who is the highest ranked Big 12 team. In the at-large bids, we've got at 5 Ohio State, and they would match up with the 12 seed BYU. We've got the 8 seed Notre Dame, and they would host the 9 seed Alabama. And then Penn State would come in at the 6 seed. They would host number 11 Georgia. And then the Indiana Hoosiers at 7 would be hosting the Rebs out of Ole Miss. So, Ty, before we get into the takes, I want to know your thoughts, because I haven't talked to you about this before. Are you a fan of the 12-team playoff? Do you prefer this over the 4-team?
Yes. Yeah. Especially in a year like this, because Texas is not winning the SEC, and they probably wouldn't get a bid in the 4-team, quite frankly. I'm not saying Texas is good, but in a year like this when you have so much competition in the SEC, like, if it was a 4-team playoff, there's a chance an SEC team, like, it'd be weird. In terms of the SEC, they'd probably get the 4. It'd probably be Bama and probably get the 4.
Yeah.
Maybe. Whatever. But now there's going to be 4 or 5 SEC teams, and which is how it should be in terms of, like, competitive, the best teams there. And you can't leave them out. So I like 12 more.
You can leave them out if they're not good.
But they are.
I mean,
well, that's the great thing. We're gonna get to find out.
We're gonna
for the
figure it
first
out.
time, yeah. Because I feel like normally it's like, oh, the top 4 teams. Well, the team that always wins it, you're like, oh, well, they were just a runaway favorite. But then now this year we're gonna be like, well, Penn State's not going to get to bench all their players when they play Ole Miss this year. Ole Miss isn't going to Ole Miss isn't going to bench all their players when they're playing in some no-name bowl game. It's actually these matchups are going to mean something more. I think this stops these like lesser bowl games from them benching their players that are going to go to the league. All these kids are going to be playing in these games. It's going to make it so much more exciting.
Yeah,
I agree.
For
And I was very much against the 12-team playoff when it first got announced, and my reason being is like you would get these games like Michigan-Ohio State last year. That was a playoff game. It had the feel of a playoff game. If that game happened this year, Michigan sucks. It's not happening. But if that game happened this year, both teams are in. There's not a ton on the line in that game, and that's why I was against the 12-team playoff at the beginning.
A bye's on the line.
A bye and a Big Ten
we have the
championship.
issue in the SEC where whoever plays in that championship, so it's going to be Bama, most likely. Given if they lose, which I don't think will happen, if Bama were to lose to Texas, you simply cannot punish. You simply cannot leave out the runner-up in the SEC. That is insanity.
Oh, what happened last year? The undefeated Georgia Bulldogs got left out after
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why the
losing
12
in
team.
the
That's what
SEC.
Aaron was saying, though. That's why he didn't like.
Oh,
with the 12
it's going
team,
to happen again this year. It's going to
but you
happen again
can't-
this year. The loser of the SEC is going to get left out.
That's insane. That's a problem.
It happened last year too, though. The SEC is just so even at the top. I feel like that. I don't know. I guess Alabama should not have had those losses. We're just assuming that they're going to be in and lose. But
Yeah.
I feel like you could call that conference championship game like the first round. Like if you lose that, why do you get to go in? You just lost to a team that's in the tournament. You're not better
If you're
than
the
them.
second
So
team in the SEC and you're not in the tournament to compete for the next championship. That's insane. That's insane. You know,
don't lose.
Agreed.
As a fan,
If
Yeah, but
Indiana
they'll
had
have
2
three
losses, they would
losses.
clearly not be in this conversation. But they have 0 losses. You're not going to take a who are you going to kick out?
Florida State missed last year. They're undefeated. It's not most deserving. It's the best teams. If the second best team in the SEC is not in, you're insane. You're out of your mind. If they're the most deserving team to be there,
But I don't think.
Are you saying
that
what if the second
I
best
don't
team in the
think
SEC has
the-
3 losses?
Yeah.
who's more? Is it more deserving? Better. Florida State got left out because they.
Well, how do we know who's better right now? Because we're talking about teams outside of conferences. This is not the years of it's only going to be SEC and Big Ten. This is why they did this. It's so we don't know. And so if you say just because it's the SEC, why not? What if the fucking Big 12 is really good and there's you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like that. Maybe in 2 years they'll say clearly this conference is much better. But in 2 years they're going to start. It'll be the Big Ten and SEC, and it'll go into that's the entire pretty much college football landscape. But the idea that I just don't agree with the idea that the SEC is just so much better than every other conference that they get the runner-up automatic bid too.
It shouldn't be automatic, but it's.
Well,
I've
you're
never
telling me
seen
it should be.
There's gonna be
You're
4
saying
teams
it's
in the
automatic
league.
because you're saying there's no way you leave out the second SEC team.
I'm saying
You're going to leave out Ohio State or Oregon if they lose? No.
No,
Right?
it'd be BYU. They're the 12 seed.
And we're also talking there's not things can change too, right? Like we can BYU could lose another game and totally drop out of it. And then who
here's
jumps
the problem.
in?
Colorado goes.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the problem, though, and this is where I agree with Ty. You have the 2 best conferences are very clearly the Big Ten and the SEC. And you have a situation where Ohio State and Oregon, both of those teams are in. You can lock them in. And they're going to play each other in the Big Ten Championship, and the loser is still going to make it. The problem is you take a team like Ole Miss. They're sitting pretty right now. Their chances of making the SEC Championship are pretty low. They're going to win out. They're going to be 10-2. And they're going to sit at home. They're not going to play in the SEC Championship. And they're going to get into the playoff. But the loser of the SEC Championship that was forced to play that extra game is more than likely going to be left out. And I think that is a problem. That is a flaw in the new system.
But that happened
in the new playoff
last
system.
year. It's not
I
a
agree.
flaw in the new
It's not a
system.
flaw.
It just wasn't fixed. It just wasn't fixed from last year.
It's a flaw
Because it did
in the
happen
system,
last
not the new system. I agree. No, I agree. Completely agree.
But
All right.
It'll just turn into it'll be the super conferences of you're going to continue to see teams join either the Big Ten or the SEC, and it'll end up being 6-6 coming from it.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any other conferences.
Well, I hope
Which is
it
what they
doesn't
want.
turn into that. No, I hope it doesn't, because I want Boise State to possibly, dude. If somebody like Boise State or BYU gets to play Penn State and beat Penn State, and just it would make for the greatest thing. I want Penn State to just collapse in the playoffs. That would be so awesome.
I think we can all get on
the
board with
MAC
that.
deserves a bid.
Yeah,
Hey, if they have a high-ranked team, they'd get one. They have a good team coming out the MAC, they'd get one.
Bowling Green.
All right.
I have a question.
Here's a question.
That's maybe someone else.
Yeah,
can
go ahead,
answer.
Ty.
Why isn't Notre Dame at G5?
I think that they should be forced to.
I've been saying that too.
They
It's
should
the
be in
dumbest
that.
thing.
They should be in the ACC. They are for basketball.
Right, but they're not. So why are they not this year at G5?
Agreed.
Agree with
Notre
that?
Dame and a G5 should not get in. Notre Dame should be the G5 bid.
No, Notre Dame should
this
be
year.
bullied into the fact that they have to join a conference. It's ridiculous. They have a privilege, and the 5 seed's better than the 1 seed. I'll say without a doubt. I would rather have the 5 seed than the 1 seed
Can we
Wait,
talk
what do you
about
mean?
Notre Dame?
in the playoff, which is what Notre Dame is basically their thing of. If you win now, you can't get a 1 seed. The best seed Notre Dame can get is a 5. I would rather be a 5 seed than the 1 seed. You play the sorry ass G5 team, you'd whoop their ass. And then you go, and then you play a joke. And this year you go play Boise, the second round.
Yeah,
go play a
you
4
can
seed.
play BYU and then Boise, which would
Exactly,
be
it's a joke.
insane. But I mean, like Ohio State, deservedly so, should get that path. I don't think Notre Dame should be the 5.
Right, but that's the thing. You're undefeated. The best they can do is a 5. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I mean, Ohio State, if they lose to Oregon and they still get the 5, that's ridiculous. They cannot lose the same team twice and get the 5
They
seed.
won't.
So that's
Yeah, I don't think Ohio State's going to lose.
near do I. I think Oregon's gonna get the spot. And
Yeah.
And then Oregon becomes the 5. Here's something about Notre Dame that I feel like not enough people are talking about. Do we know that Notre Dame is even that good? Like, look at their strength of schedule. They do not have a great strength of schedule. And they have a loss to a middle-of-the-pack MAC team at home. Yet we're just...
They also beat Bowling Green.
Okay, but we're just... and we're just
They
sitting
did-
here saying that they deserve a spot. They deserve a
They
top
beat a
spot in the
team in
playoff.
the SEC,
I don't get it.
though. They beat a team in the SEC.
no, they did. They did.
They did. They beat
And that
A&M
is-
first
I'm not-
game of the year.
But the thing is, it's funny because the committee doesn't make up their mind ever. Their thing is, oh, that game that they lost to NIU was in September. But then the game they won, but they're lucky A&M's still good. But then
It's all
again,
about markets. It's all about money in the end.
and
We all
they
know
have
that.
been like boat racing teams to their defense, and I hate Notre Dame more than almost every other school. They have been boat racing teams, so they do look good as they can for their schedule compared to other schools that play no one and don't look great while doing it. At least Notre Dame's blowing them out.
Yeah, I
But
think
they
Notre
got
Dame would
back
beat
door last
Miami.
weekend, so
I think Notre Dame would beat Miami.
Here's another flaw in the system, and maybe it's just this year. The ACC sucks, and so does the Big 12. And you're going to have a team from the ACC and a team from the Big 12 getting a bye. I mean, we have a legit scenario where Colorado gets a bye in the college football playoff and then loses by 40 in
Wait,
that
does
second round
Boise
game.
have anyone tough left?
no.
No.
So Boise's going to keep the bye probably.
More than likely. If Boise wins out, Boise keeps the bye because there's no way
So
BYU
Colorado's not going to get the bye, but Colorado could
point.
hop into the 12 spot, and then, dude, I would an Ohio State Colorado game would be electric. I feel like there would not be a whole lot of defense on the Colorado side of the ball. I know that for sure. Ohio
Sharpie
State would
beard.
put up a lot of points.
Just for men, jet black, Sharpie beard at home against Dion. I'm. You could talk me into Colorado in that game.
Really,
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm
That
not
would
gonna
be
lie.
so
It would-
exciting.
It could only make sense if they scare a team and then lose.
All right, I got a question for Ty. For Rebelette. How many SEC teams do you think deserve to get in the playoff?
5. I don't think that. I mean, it's weird. Do I think that there are 5 SEC teams that are in the top 12 teams in the country without a doubt? I think 4 will make it. I think that makes a little bit of sense. They're gonna have a hard time sneaking in Tennessee. And I mean, unless the weird route of A&M winning out and then they leave Texas and A&M sneaks in, but that's a weird route. As it stands now, Tennessee being first team out, do they deserve it? Yeah, I mean, it's recency bias. It's a tough way to lose. It's tough that they ran into Georgia after we beat them. Do I think they get in? What would need to happen is a Penn State loss or a Notre Dame lost. So Penn State this weekend at Minnesota, or Notre Dame next weekend at USC. Something weird have to happen that someone loses, which those are games that we can lose. But
Hey,
winning out's not good enough for them. I think 4 teams get in. I think 5 should.
all right, I think so. I disagree with you on that. I think it should be 4 out of the SEC, 4 out of the Big Ten, and I think that's what's going to happen. But you're discounting Notre Dame hosts Army this weekend.
I'm not
There's a
discounting that
wagon.
at all, dude. When
There's
is
a
Army
wagon
gonna
coming
decent?
to town.
When is-
Yeah, it's
It's
going
a
to be
blowout,
like
it's a
a
blowout.
28-point blowout, I think.
Notre Dame plays them every year and they boat race them. Love the troops, love the guys over there. Great program, disciplined, but you're not
They
beating
did
them.
Bryson Daly's legit.
If
Army
it
is
was-
legit.
If it was Air Force, we could be worried about Notre Dame losing, but
What's that
I
number?
don't- I think it's 16 and a half.
It's lower than it should be.
Yeah, I think it opened at 16 and a half. It's already getting bet to shit, which is crazy.
I mean,
Yeah, the
Army's
public is
9-0.
all over Army. I'm not going to bet it because the public is all over it, but I'm keeping my eye on that game because I don't know how good Notre Dame is. All right, Ty, to kind of button this up, who's your national champion pick? Who do you think is the best team in the country right now and has the best shot of winning the Natty at this point
I truly
in time?
think the last 2.5 weeks, I think Ole Miss is playing the best football in the country, and I don't think it's relatively close. That's the issue is, which the committee is going to do is because of all this seeding where the SEC is. It's either going to be Oregon or Ohio State will have a cakewalk to the championship, because they're probably going to load one side up. Maybe not on purpose, but there's going to be one side of this bracket loaded up with every SEC team. And, I mean, I'm on SEC Twitter. It's everything I see. The one thing all 4 of our schools don't want to see in the SEC is an SEC opponent. We are not. No one's worried about anything. Like, if we have to go play Ohio State, it's one thing. But, like, if I'm the 8 and I have to host Georgia, that's like, why would I? It's just like
That's
they're gonna
so
make us fight
cocky.
each other, and it's just a death wish. It's the only teams that can beat us are our own teams.
How do you
Well,
know?
I don't think you want to see Oregon or Ohio State.
No, you don't want to see
I'm not
those two
worried about.
teams.
I'm not. Okay, first of all, the way I'm fine playing anyone. Ole Miss is playing the best football in the country, and that's not like. So I'm fine with that. I don't know. The routes are gonna be weird with the Boise.
Didn't they lose a couple weeks ago?
Maybe maybe a month ago,
Who's that?
and I said last 2.5.
Who's that? Who lost?
We
Ole Miss.
Baton Rouge.
Oh, yeah, no. I agree with him from the aspect of, if you're asking me if I'm Ole Miss, would I rather play Penn State or Georgia? Yeah, I'd rather play Penn State. If I'm Ole Miss, I'd rather play Georgia or Notre Dame. Yes, I would rather play Notre Dame. But if I'm Ole Miss, would I rather play Georgia or Oregon? It's a coin flip. I'd much rather probably play. I don't know. I
You don't think they want to play the familiar opponent?
No.
In that
because they
situation, going against Oregon or Ohio State rather than like Georgia, a team they've already played and beaten?
Well, the only time,
Kirby
it's
Smart
hard to
loses
beat a
the same
team
team
twice.
But
That's
like
not very confident in your
not
team.
That exact situation. It's these 7, 8, 9, 10 where we'll be all SEC, and it's just like we're bound to run into each other. So that's where it gets tough. If we're all spread out.
No, because
we're all in
Penn
four
State's
corners,
going to be in there, Indiana's going to be in there, Notre Dame's
Penn State's going to be the 6, probably.
Yeah,
I
think
wouldn't
it's
discount
gonna be back
Boise
half.
State.
I will
I'm
not
not
shit
sure.
on Boise State. I will go
What
to
do you
Boise,
see
I'll
in
do
Boise?
whatever.
I'll tell you
Whoever
one
plays
thing I see in them. They
Whoever
have a
plays
they have
Boise,
a
it's
pretty
gonna
good
be a-
defense.
It's
They
going
have
to
one
be
of the
a
best edge rushers.
double-digit spread. It's
Look,
going to
I'm
be a
not-
double-digit spread.
Coming after any Boise fans here, I will happily travel to Boise, Idaho, and I would happily play them if I was given the opportunity in the playoff. I think 11 other teams would happily play Boise State as well. And I think
If I'm
everyone's
Utah, I'm
thinking
actually
that's
flying to
fine.
that game because you're getting to see the first ever 12 team
I
college
would
football
go.
win.
I'd have-
Yeah.
Tell you what, Indiana and Boise would be a fun game. That'd be just like the Liberty Bowl. That's what it should be. There you go. Over under at 38. Just the worst game of all time.
Ty, how would you rank the girls at Boise? Do you think that they're upper echelon SEC tier?
I might have to bring some of mine with me. I don't know if I could go out there solo. I wouldn't want to find out.
Oh,
They're probably
All
nice
right,
girls.
I'm gonna-
They're probably nice girls.
Oh, dude, they probably come from like wealthy like buffalo farms,
Potato families. You go to Five
Yes.
Guys every damn time. Those potatoes from Idaho.
blue
Yeah,
collar fathers. That's what you're looking
Corn
for.
fed.
It's just like me.
Cornhole
Yeah, we probably get along.
champs.
Probably get along with our fathers pretty well.
All
A
right,
lot of similarities.
we're gonna wrap up the college football talk, but I just want to say something really quick because Ty, I actually do mean this. My preseason pick to win the Natty was Oregon, and they're the 1 seed undefeated. But I don't know. I'm losing a little bit of confidence in them, and I think what it's going to come down to. Here's my take. It's going to come down to the trenches, and it's going to come down to quarterback play. And I don't think there's another team in the country that I trust more in the trenches plus quarterback play than Ole Miss. So I do think you guys are poised to make a run. And I think if you had to, put a gun to my head and make me pick a national champion right now, I would take the Rebs. And that's honest.
I appreciate that.
Coming from a Big Ten guy.
It'll be
But
a ride.
they'll be playing a
We
Big
gotta
Ten
play
team
Lions
in the
this
Natty.
weekend. What's up?
That's coming from a Big Ten guy. But this
No,
weekend...
I know that means a lot because I would never say anything about that about Michigan or anything. You couldn't the hands of God couldn't get that.
Hey,
out of me.
Michigan already accomplished what you're chasing.
There's
So
an asterisk.
you don't have
4.5 point dog to Georgia last year. They didn't play each other. 4.5 point
Yes.
dog.
already accomplished it.
4.5 point dog.
Michigan
Already
would have
accomplished what you're
boat-raced
chasing.
Georgia. Michigan
Hey,
would
I
have
didn't even
boat-raced
ask
Georgia
this.
last
You
year.
get plus money on it.
Add in an asterisk right here.
You're still
Michigan would
holding on
have
to that, Joe.
boat-raced Georgia.
There's
last
nothing
year.
to
I
hold on.
promise
It's
you.
just permanently tainted. It's disgusting.
Oh, you haven't.
We're
Man,
not
we talked
getting
about
into
this.
this.
It's proven.
What?
Proven
We're
that
not
now
getting
you
into
cheated.
this.
Better. Just better than everybody.
It's proven that you cheated.
All right.
The documentary came out. And
He
Portnoy
can't
threw
even
him
say
under
it
the
with a
bus.
straight
The whole
face.
time he was trying to defend himself, and Portnoy goes, "Oh yeah, he told me he did it."
He did
No,
what?
Portnoy
Cheating.
said they edited his clip. He did not say that. Portnoy said that they edited. He did not say that. He's a for the team
Yeah.
guy. He would never throw Stallions
Why
under
would
the
they
bus.
edit that sentence?
There's a reason why he's
Because it's
comfortable
Netflix,
talking
dude.
about it. He would never just come out and
It was a
A dub
hit
is a
job.
dub
I
is
is
a
wish
what
dub.
that-
Michigan could have played Georgia last year. I wish we could have seen the
Me
two
too.
best teams go at it.
Yeah, and Michigan would have won. I promise you, Michigan would have won that game.
I don't know if
boat
they
raced
would have
them.
beat Florida State.
They went 15 and
He's got
0
a
and
point.
won
No,
the
he has a
national
point.
championship.
Yeah, and
you
they
played-
didn't
you
even
played a
have to
Pac-12
play
team.
the other two undefeated teams. That's crazy. The
Delusion.
other two
This
undefeated
is
teams.
all right. We're not
didn't-
getting into this. I'm not
Delusion.
entertaining this.
coping.
The
Cope.
1 year Michigan wins the national
Cope.
championship, they don't play the two other undefeated
Cope.
teams. in college
The 1 year
Other
we're
teams-
all
other
doing
teams
national
were-
champions
they
that
were
only
dogs,
played
too.
one other team that was handpicked for them. Like, what are you talking about? It's a national championship, no asterisk. Good luck. Sparty will be in the tournament one day, I'm sure.
I mean, we actually made it the first year, so yeah.
How'd that go?
They-
How'd
They
that
could
go?
have scored that game.
They
They
did.
got
Yeah, they
food
put
goal.
up points.
We ran
They put
into
points
the
on the
greatest
board.
college football player of all time, Derrick Henry. So
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
That was the
All right.
problem.
that was.
Yeah, that was it. All right.
good.
All right, well, clap it up, Ty. We appreciate you coming on the show from SEC country. We are rooting for the SIP this weekend and the rest of the way through. We're a pro Ole Miss podcast here, even though we're Big Ten
I
guys. We
appreciate
love
that.
the SIP. We love
I
Lane
am not.
Kiffin. You're
Yeah, I'm
okay,
pro.
Stark's
I'm
not.
pro Ole Miss. I am.
I'm loyal to my Big Ten.
I will say this: you got Florida coming off of an emotional win at home last week. Florida's going to be asleep at the wheel. You guys have everything to
Disagree.
play for. I think I really like the SIP this weekend. I'm going to throw that out there. We're not picking it, but I am going to throw that out there. I like the Rebs this weekend. But Ty, thanks for joining. We'll get
Thank
you back
guys. I
on
appreciate it.
during the
What's up?
playoffs. We'll get you back on when the Rebs are playing. The week leading up to the Rebs' first playoff game, we'll get you back on.
I
Yeah.
hope nothing terrible happens before then.
It shouldn't. I hope so too. I hope we can just take care of business, and hopefully match up against a Big Ten team.
I can't talk. My team has no skin in the game, so good luck. Good luck. Good luck to
I
Ole Miss.
appreciate it. You still got your confidence,
He's a
though.
good-looking dude. He's a handsome fella.
Who, Dart?
Yeah.
Nah, he is. I know.
He's a
My
dog.
dirtbag quarterback.
How when he walks around, I mean, what
Yeah,
are the
don't
people?
really get attention like that here. Like no one really cares. Like they're just like amongst the crowd. Like people know who he is, but it's not like there's no fanboy stuff going on really.
But Jackson
It's a bigger
Dart-
deal. It's a bigger deal to see Ty on campus. They're like, dude, that guy was
People talk-
cranking
I-
90s last night.
Like, you see that
But
seventh
Jackson
year over
doesn't
there?
drink. Jackson doesn't drink. He just like stands in the bar.
He's
Really?
Mormon, isn't he?
He's Mormon. Yeah, he's locked
Yeah.
in. That's what he is. He's not Mormon. He's locked in.
Oh.
He's
Super-
Marines.
Super soaker. All right. On that note, we are going to let Ty go.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ty. All right, we got the college
Good guess.
football out of the system. Good, great guess. We'll have Ty back on, break down some more college football games, lead into the playoff. We're getting an exciting time in college football season. So, we got to switch gears though. We got to get to the Lions talk. We're gonna preview this game in Indy, and I mean we're gonna do what we do every week. We're gonna talk about the X factor. We're gonna talk about our expectations, and I'll lead us off, boys. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to throw something out to you guys, and I want to know, you can be honest, you can tell me, am I a bitch? Am I being a bitch? I'm getting a little scared, and I shouldn't say scared. Scared's not the right word. I'm getting uncomfortable. The Lions are getting so much love right now. They're the Super Bowl favorites. Every time I flip on ESPN, all it is positive talk about the Lions, and this is uncharted territory for us. Like, I'm used to being the underdogs. I'm used to being, chip on our shoulder. Everyone's counting us out. Yet, the script is flipped this year, and it's an uncomfortable position. And I want to know what you guys feel, because I'm undecided on it. I don't know if I like it, because I love being that underdog and having that chip on the shoulder. How do you guys feel about the discourse with the Lions right now in the way that they're playing football? And, Jet, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it's a necessity. I think it's the next step in the right direction. Are you familiar with the term Stockholm syndrome?
I am. But tell the listeners.
When you fall in love
listeners.
with it's when you fall in love with the person who has held you captive. Do not fall in love with being the underdog. Fall in love with being the favorite, because the underdog is the underdog for a reason. They don't win as much as the favorite. The favorite wins more. And I think that we deserve to be the favorite. We're boat racing teams. We are the best team in the NFL. When's the last time like an underdog won the Super Bowl? Like that type team where you're like, they're spicy. They might be able to pull something out. No, I'm tired of being that. I want to be the favorite. Let's boat race some teams throughout the playoffs and then have a good Super Bowl and win.
You just made me feel better. You just made me feel better. And I can give you one underdog that won the Super Bowl, and that would be the '08 Giants beating the undefeated Pats. But which was a fun story. But no, you made me feel better. And again,
but
now
also
I do want to
16 years ago, and
True.
I had a more recent one. I was thinking about the Eagles with Nick Foles. But outside of those two teams, like in the last 24 years, I don't really know. Early 2000s, I don't know well, but I don't really know. I feel like in our lifetime, it's been a lot of these, like, I don't want to say predictable because there are like 4 teams that can win it every year, but we're definitely like one of those 4 teams, if not the best of those 4 teams that should be in the Super Bowl and should win it.
Yeah. No, and Stark, kind of what's your take on this? How are you feeling with this discourse?
I mean, I always like, not even for like the betting purposes, I do like being an underdog, and I like rooting for the underdog, but I'm 100% with Joey. If we're going to be a favorite, if we're going to be good, people are going to like us. And I don't like bandwagon fans, but I've been really good about being quiet, about just welcome everyone on board and let everybody, and I'm not talking about like people we know, but I'm talking about people's like out and celebrities and whatever. I hate these videos being like, oh, the Lions are my team now. It's like, no. I actually love that we have a hater in Nick Wright. I mean, I saw that take and I was like, thank you, somebody to talk down on, and everyone's pissed off about that. I'm like, please, like, I love when people talk like that about our team. I don't love this like, gushy. They're the best. They're so good. We know that, right? We've been confident in our team for a while. get the fuck, go stay with the Chiefs. That's more the style of a lot of the people that are coming over to our bandwagon. Like, go stay with Taylor Swift and them. This is not your side. Nick Wright, I respect it. I think everything he said was absolutely ridiculous and dumb. But I think he was thinking what I was thinking. Too much love. I just got to say something negative to like get off that take. But I like I like negative attention towards our teams. So I'm not going to hate this. I like that we're going to be good. I also am on that ship of like, hey, if we're going to be good, guess what? We're going to lose our coordinators. You're going to lose Ben Johnson. You're going to lose them. And that's going to go in a cycle if you're good. So there's some things you have to sacrifice for being really good, and we're just not used to that. So I'm going through a cycle of uncomfortability. Like, I don't know how to feel as, like, the heavy favorite. Adam, like that screenshot you posted the other day, plus 440. Best odds in the NFL to win the Super Bowl. That's insane. Now. Like, I know. It's just like I've dreamed about this, and I don't know what I'll do if I don't know. I just want it to happen so fucking bad. And you know what? We talked a couple weeks ago about like the whole Super Bowl or bust thing, and I'm like, I think I'll be truly devastated if they don't win it this year. It's
Super Bowl or bust. I think that goes hope. Without question. And Stark, I'm glad you brought up the Nick Wright thing because I had to bring that up as the stupid, just dumb take of the week. But I'm with Stark. I absolutely love this because the locker room needed something. And you know just kind of the character of this Lions team, Dan Campbell. They needed something to put a chip on their shoulder. And for Nick Wright to come out, and Goff is putting up the numbers that he's putting up this season, and you put him side by side with Patrick Mahomes and these other MVP candidates. I mean, Goff threw for 412 yards and 4 touchdowns. I don't care that they were playing the Jags. This is the NFL. Like, this isn't college football. The Lions treated the Jags like it was Alabama opening the season against Louisiana Monroe. And that doesn't happen in the league. 52-6 does not happen. 52-14 does not happen. 47-9. These are things that don't happen in the NFL, and the Lions are doing it routinely. So to call Jared Goff a civilian and say that you don't trust the Lions in the playoffs is so insane to me because the Lions can beat you in so many different ways. They can beat you with Goff in the pocket passing game. They can beat you in the trenches running the ball. They can hold your offense below 20 points and win the game that way. Like, there's so many different ways for this team to beat you. And I think, here's my take on Nick Wright. He's a big Chiefs fan. I think he's scared to death. I think there's one team that he's scared of seeing in the playoffs and meeting in New Orleans in that Super Bowl, and it's the Detroit Lions. And but no, I love it. I'm so glad somebody came out and said something negative about the Lions, gave them a little bit of fuel, because you know that locker room saw that clip. And they're going to utilize that as fuel. But, all right, let's get into the Indy game. They go to Indianapolis. Anthony Richardson at QB. They look good last week, but the Jets suck. The Jets are falling apart. So we don't know how good that win was. But AR looked pretty good. He was lowering the shoulder, ran in a couple touchdowns, made some plays in the passing game. Lions are 7.5-point favorites. Jet, we're going to go to you first. You expect more of the same, Lions domination? Do you think this might be a little bit of a trap game leading into Thanksgiving? And who's your X factor?
No X factor. Boat race. 50-point dub. I think, was it Kirby that came out and said, if teams got a problem with us winning this big, they should play better?
It's Carlton Davis.
Oh, yeah. Carlton Davis. Okay. Yeah, I think I saw the Kirby clip of him saying that. And I seriously think we're going to continue to try and just murder teams. I think we do it again. I mean, I think Anthony Richardson is not an NFL quarterback. He's more of an NFL linebacker than he is an NFL quarterback. I think we might eat them up. Playing man coverage, being able to play one-on-one man coverage and getting pressure on him every single snap, it's unfair. It's going to be big.
Stark, let's go to you. Your takes, expectations, X factor if you have them.
X factor running backs. I say it every goddamn week, but they are the biggest. We're very good, but it's good. We're good. I always used to say this. I've been a Lions fan for a very long time. When they were really bad, do you know why they were really bad? One of the many reasons was because they could never, ever, ever run the ball. I don't know how many years we went without seeing a 100-yard rusher in a single game, without a 1,000-yard rusher in a season, and now we are blessed with two of the best running backs in the league that complement each other so well. Gibbs' speed is unbelievable. We have something on our hands with him, and I truly mean this and believe this. Revolutionary, all-time potential great running back in Jahmyr Gibbs. They're my X factors. Interesting stats I heard the other day. Where would you put the Lions in all-time teams as of right now?
Go on.
Okay, and I have a stat to suggest that they actually, realistically, are in the conversation for the best teams, and it's points differential that I brought up early in the year. They are leading the league in point differential by 64 points, right? And I think the next closest is I don't remember who the next closest was, but they had like 93, and the Lions are like 150-something. If they continue on even a remotely decent pace, they will end up in the top 5 teams all time in points differential. And you know what all those teams have in common in the years that they did that?
Super Bowl.
They won the Bowl.
Yep. They are already top 15 teams all time in point differential in a season. They've only played 10 games.
Yeah, we got to check the market at week 17. So, because the haters are going to come at us and be like, extra week. But no, check. We'll circle back.
Well, that's what they might do it. They already the point of it is like through 10, and that's why the video I watch is like, do we realize how they're doing so much that we're like missing some of the things that they've done, like some of the records they're breaking and how on pace they are to like quite literally be like the best offense and best team maybe ever, as long as they can keep it up.
Yeah, and that's why we say Super Bowl or bust, right? Like, you have to cap this season you're having off with you got to finish strong, get the 1 seed, get that bye in the playoffs, have those home games in the playoffs at Ford Field, and go to the Super Bowl and win it. And but no, Stark, I mean, I appreciate you bringing the stats because it goes back to what I was just saying. Like, I don't know if people, if you're out there and you're listening, like, I don't know if you realize this is the NFL. This is the top 1%, top 0.5% of football players in the world. You don't just beat teams 52-6, 47-9, 52-14. Come back down 16 at the half, throwing 5 interceptions, you find a way to win the game. Like, these are things that do not happen in the NFL, and the Lions are continuing to do it. They're winning in so many different ways. And like I said, they can beat you. You pick your poison. How do you want to get beat? And kind of previewing this Colts game. I'm going to throw an X factor out there. My X factor is going to be Jack Campbell. He's going to be wearing the green dot. He's stepping in for Anzalone. Obviously a massive loss. The good news there, he'll be back for the playoffs. He's missing 6 to 7 weeks, so he'll be back. If Lions get that 1 seed, we could pretty much guarantee he'll be back and healthy, and we don't know how much he'll play in that first playoff game, but he should be back for the playoffs. But Jack Campbell, what an opportunity for the man to step up. He's been playing great football this year, and he'll take that Anzalone role. So he'll be my X factor. But, Jet, I agree with you. Playing a quarterback like Anthony Richardson where you're not scared of him shredding that defense, you can play man coverage, you can send an extra man, you can spy him. The line's sitting at 7.5, and you would be a fool. If you're taking Indianapolis this week, you're a brave soul. You are insane. You might need to call the number.
What's the
not
line?
saying that the Lions are the
Seven and a
are a
half.
lock. It's 7.5, and I'm not saying that the Lions are a lock. I'm just saying if you're taking the Colts this week, that is just insane given the run that the Lions are on. But do you guys remember last week I gave it out to the listeners, and I said I feel like after that Houston game, the Lions are going to come out and prove a point. They have 2 games that set up really nice for them. They got the Jags at home, and then they go to Indy. And I think you're going to see 2 massive games out of Jared Goff, and he's going to be right back into the MVP conversation. I gave out Jared Goff plus 4,000. Yes. He was plus 4,000 last week when I gave him out. He's down to plus 700 to win the MVP right now. So I hope some of the listeners took it. last week at plus 4,000, and I think we could see another monster Jared Goff game. He'll move up the MVP rankings. And again, look at the MVP winner over the last 5-6 years. It's the quarterback on the best team in the league. If Jared Goff does his job, he's going to have a really good case to win the MVP this year. And I'm with Jet. I think it's a boat race this weekend. That's what I expect. Let's win this game. Let's take care of business. Let's relax a little bit in the fourth quarter, and then let's move on to winning our first Thanksgiving game in years, because we've had this Thanksgiving game against the Bears circled for a while. This is a hump that the Lions can't get over. They have lost their last 5 Thanksgiving games. It might be 6. I need to check the stat on that. They do not win on Thanksgiving, and they play every single year. So we need that Thanksgiving Day game to end up in a W this year. But, all right, gents, let's end the pod on the picks. Let's move along.
Let's go.
All right. Quite the week in college last week. I'm very embarrassed to say this was my worst week of the season picking college football. I went 1-4. I had a rough week in college football. I went 1-4, and the two of you went 3-2. Now, what that does and what that sets up is a very exciting run down the last couple weeks of the season here. The three of us are deadlocked in a tie at 35-25 on the season. So the next 2 weeks, very, very important for our picks coming down the stretch here. We are going to start out. First game we're going to be picking this week. We're going to start with a hometown team. Purdue, worst team in the Big Ten, travels to East Lansing. Michigan State laying 13.5. I'm going to go first here. I have no idea which way to go. I mean, this is like bad on worse, and I just do not trust this Michigan State team right now, and I don't like the jerseys that Michigan State's wearing. So for that reason, give me Purdue. Jet?
Purdue sucks so bad. Michigan State by 1 million.
Stark.
No, Purdue.
Good call. I feel confident now.
All
The
right.
same fucking record as me.
We all got the same record. All right.
Idiot.
Let's stay in state. Another 2 below mediocre teams, just atrocious teams. Northwestern travels to Michigan. I'm taking the dog here as well. Michigan's laying 10.5. We've said it all season. We cannot trust this Michigan team laying points. Give me Northwestern plus 10.5 here. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going to take Northwestern. Jet?
Give me Northwestern. How many wins does Michigan have on the season?
5.
Playing for
They're
bowl eligibility.
5-5. Playing for eligibility.
Playing for bowl eligibility. You know what? Give me Michigan. Give me Michigan.
Little switch up. I don't know. We don't get much
Yeah,
of that. All right. 10.5. And they're playing Northwestern.
Northwestern.
Yeah, that's the right.
Taking
that's
Northwestern
the right
plus 10.5.
That is the right pick. All right, we get into what is the game of the week in a pretty weak slate. The Buckeyes, who have to say this, their starting center, McLaughlin, the transfer from Alabama, he tore his Achilles yesterday at practice. He's out for the year. So backup center for the rest of the way for the Buckeyes. They host undefeated Indiana Hoosiers, who have like the 110th best strength of schedule in the country. They haven't played a soul. Their best win is Michigan. We really don't know how good they are, but they've been boat racing teams. Ohio State is a 13.5-point favorite here. This hurts my soul, but I just feel like this is one of those games where Cinderella shows up. If this game is at Indiana, maybe I'd feel differently. I think the Buckeyes roll. Give me the Bucks big. Jet.
Ohio State by 12. Give me Indiana.
Starkey.
Indiana. I think they're
Right on
better.
an island.
The dangerous part, really quick, I'm going to make a point here. Dangerous
You think
part
they're
about
just better?
No. The dangerous part about having like that soft schedule is you really don't know if they're good or bad. They could be good as you think or not good at all. And so it's kind of like this mysterious thing coming in, and I think that plays their advantage, especially with freaking Cignetti's a better coach, and he could like mind game mess with Day because he is a better coach, and so I like Indiana money line. I like a money line.
Wow. All right. Let's go down to the SEC to the Plains, Jordan-Hare Stadium. The Auburn Tigers hosting Texas A&M. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our rat line of the week. Texas A&M laying 2.5 at Auburn. You know what to do. Give me Auburn on the money line at home at night. Give me Auburn plus 2.5. Jet?
This game's so stupid. I would love to say Vegas has it all wrong because they do. But obviously they know what they're talking about and why they put the line there. But you're silly for not taking A&M. Peyton Thorne sucks. Worst quarterback maybe in SEC history.
All right, you're taking A&M. You're going Mike Elko and the boys. The Aggies. Stark.
A&M as well. I know. I've watched Peyton Thorne play football.
Gents, I'm just saying, this is the rat line of the week. What do we do with rat lines?
I do want to just let the listeners know on a little pre-pod talk we were talking about this, and Slim said the Peyton Thorne legacy game and compared this game to his game at Alabama last year, they lost. They lost.
But they covered.
So, yeah, that's true. This line is very small and stupid. A&M's going to blow them out.
All right. Then we get to the game that I personally am the most excited to watch, and that is Army. If you're an American Patriot, you know what to do with this game. Army travels to South Bend, taking on the Fighting Irish. Notre Dame laying 14.5. I just have to make it known to the listeners. Deep down, my gut tells me Notre Dame runs away with this, but how un-American would it be if I picked the Irish over the U.S. Army? Give me Bryson Daly and the Army Black Knights. Jet.
Call me un-American, but I'm a Catholic. Give me Riley Leonard. I think
what a that's a tough decision, Joe.
Yeah. I mean,
we do know which way he voted a couple weeks ago, so it makes sense.
One nation, but guess what that nation is, Slim? It's under God.
Oh, Starkey.
Oh, boy.
Notre Dame laying 14.5 against Army. Yes, he knows.
Notre Dame, I know.
He knows.
Man, this is tough. Fuck, I don't like Notre Dame. Give me Army.
Love it.
Army. Bryson Daly does seem legit. He's a okay, what do you call that? What is it called again?
Dual threat?
No, the teams.
Jared Goff?
Military teams.
Oh, an academy?
Academy?
The academy, yeah. The academy's. He's like the first one I've ever noticed that can actually throw the ball. And they actually do kind of throw the ball. So it's a legit offense. Better than Navy. So we'll see what. We all kind of expected Navy to make some noise against Notre Dame early in the year. This is the game that's actually going to be the noise. And Navy beat themselves. They fumbled 5 times.
I was going to say unforced turnovers in that Navy Notre Dame game, and they never gave themselves a chance. Because if that's the thing, and I trust Bryson Daly. Bryson Daly is a veteran, and this offense has a lot of veterans. And for Army to be competitive in this game, you have to control time of possession. And I don't know if you guys saw that beautiful 26 play. Took 11 minutes off the clock, 90-some yard drive last week that Army had to score a touchdown and put the game away. You control the time of possession, you can keep this game close. Don't turn the ball over.
Army's a team that if they get into that college football playoff, if they fuck around and get up on a team, good luck, because they do throttle that clock. I saw that graphic, Adam. That was insane. It was 27 plays. It took a quarter and a half, or almost a full quarter off the clock. It was 14. It was 12 minutes or something crazy.
Yeah, it was
insane.
11-minute drive. It was nasty. But don't say we, because I was on Notre Dame heavy against Navy, and they shit kicked them.
Yeah, it was bad.
and they're going to shitty kick on me.
Okay, Joe.
Chill, dude. We get it. You don't
Chill
support
out.
veterans in the armed forces. We get it.
No,
We
no.
know, Joe,
If
you're
these were
normal.
decorated veterans, I'd have a second take. But they are not
These are
decorated
future
veterans
gold
yet.
stars, Jet. These are future
Yet.
gold stars. All right, let's get to the NFL. I
wonder
hate Jet
who's
so
ahead
much.
in rankings.
Yeah, I hate Jet so much. He went 5-0 last week, but just it has to be said. He started the season 0-5. He went 0-5 week 1. I went 4-1 last week. Stark. You went 1-4. I'm sorry. On the season, Jet is in the lead at 30-20. I'm in second at 27-23. Stark, you're at 21-29. Rough week last week, kind of put you in last place. You need some clutch weeks down the stretch here. We're going to start where we always do. Thursday Night Football. Again, we're getting some decent Thursday Night Football games. Division matchup. The Steelers coming off of an emotional rivalry win against the Ravens. They traveled to Cleveland, and the Steelers are laying 3.5. I'm either the dumbest person on planet Earth or I'm going to look genius with this pick. Steelers coming off of a rivalry game at home, a lot of emotion, for first place in the division. And they travel to Cleveland playing a quarterback who is a wild card in Jameis Winston. And it's a divisional matchup on a short week. I'm taking the Browns plus 3.5 here. Give me Jameis. Jet?
Give me the Steelers. I think that the Steelers team's good. Their defense is nasty, and Russ is smart enough to not make the crucial mistakes. So, I like the Steelers here.
Starkey.
I'm going to take the Browns.
Please.
I think. I know, Adam. I know. Guys, I'm going to take the Browns. I do think that Jameis is a redeeming quality for them. Being on prime time, we don't want to watch the Browns, but I do want to watch Jameis. I truly like watching him play football. So the Browns they got those wide receivers are starting to play pretty good. Cedric Tillman and Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore. And we haven't really seen Chubb look good yet, so I'm expecting Chubb to have a week where we kind of see him get some spark back. But I don't know. Cleveland's defense isn't good, but I think this will be a good game. I'll take Cleveland.
We need the best Jameis pregame speech of all time. I don't know if you guys saw the one last week. It was so funny. It was so funny. His pregame speech last week.
I don't know how his teammates keep a straight face when he's doing it.
Dude, he's like the past is the past and the future doesn't matter. He didn't even know what he was saying. It's so funny, dude. It's so funny. All right. Lions going to Indy. Let's just get this off the board. I'm taking the Lions. The two of you are taking the Lions as well. Let me know if there's any objections.
Yep.
No objections.
Lions across the board. It's just not enough points. They're a powerhouse right now, and I'll continue to pick the Lions until they lose and look bad. All right. San Fran going to Lambeau, Green Bay. Green Bay laying 1.5. Man, this is a tough game to pick. Both teams just don't look right now. San Fran got CMC back, expected them to kind of take form, and they just have not looked right in the last couple weeks. And then same thing, Jordan Love coming back from that injury has not looked right. I am going to take the home team here. I'm going to take the team. Josh Jacobs looks like a force, and at some point, Jordan Love in that passing game has to get going. So I'm going to take the Pack minus 1.5 here. Jet?
Give me the Niners. I think we've been on opposite of everything by Slim, but
We have.
I don't know the statistics, but when watching the Packers, I feel like their run defense is atrocious, and I do think that the 49ers run the ball well, no matter who is running the ball. Jordan Mason might score a touchdown. That third-string rookie running back might score a touchdown, but Christian McCaffrey will put up 120 yards of all-purpose offense on them.
He hasn't scored a touchdown yet, by the way, and I have him on my fantasy team.
That's why I didn't say touchdown. I said all-purpose yards. He's going to run all over them. But
all right, Stark.
I'm going to take San Francisco as well because I do think the defense is still a good defense, and I just think Love is – I think he's still going to pick every game he's played this year. And I do think I agree with Joey. I think McCaffrey gets right this game, and we see a little bit of like maybe Debo shows something again. I don't know. Does this team miss Ayuk even though he wasn't doing much? Like, what's their problem? I saw Manti Te'o said it's emotional. What is it? What did he say? It's just that being so good for so long and not winning, it like takes a toll on you over time, and that he thinks it might be like wearing them down and they might need to make some kind of shakeup because, and he might be right because they're no different. It's the same roster, but they look like they just are lacking like that juice. They're not coming out the boombox anymore. They don't have that swagger they used to have. I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, we need Kodak to sing Super Gremlin.
Yeah. I would trust Manti Te'o on that as well, because you talk about a guy who thought he had something for it to all get ripped away at the end. Like, that guy can probably never love again. So if anyone knows, Manti Te'o knows.
Seriously, yeah.
All right, let's go to Sunday Night Football. The Birds, Philadelphia Eagles, travel to SoFi, taking on the Rams. Eagles 2.5-point favorites here. I'm going to take the Rams here for two reasons. I'm taking the Rams. A little bit of a rat line, and that's that 2.5 reasons. That's the half reason. As a Lions fan, we want the Rams to win this game. We want some cushion in our route to that 1 seed. But then also, Eagles got quite a cushion. I shouldn't say quite a cushion, but they've got a cushion in the NFC West. The Rams have their backs against the wall here. They're in a really tight division. They need this win to keep working towards potentially winning the NFC West. So give me the Rams plus 2.5. I know that was a long-winded answer. Sorry. Jet, who are you taking? Can we be on the same side once?
I think that no. I think it's going to be fun to make our DraftKings picks this week, Adam. I think the Eagles are getting hot at the right time. I don't see them cooling down, and I think that the NFC West kind of stinks this year. So I don't think Stafford and the boys will get it done.
Starkey.
I'm going with the Eagles as well. I think they're very good.
All right. Jet, let's see if we're on the same side of one game. Let's go to Monday night. It's the Harbaugh Bowl back at SoFi. 2 games in a row, Sunday, Monday at SoFi. John Harbaugh comes to town to play Jim Harbaugh. Baltimore laying 3. I'm going to take the home dog here. I think the Chargers are legit. I think Justin Herbert is a stud. I think, not only do I think, I know that the Ravens have the worst pass defense in the league, and the Chargers can take advantage of that. Plus, they can run the ball. I don't know if the Chargers necessarily win the game, but I'm going to lay the 3 points with the Chargers here. Jet, give me some good news.
We can be on the same side. Shout out to the listener that submitted the Chargers hot take. It's aging like fine wine. He bought low. And then the next week he could have bought even lower, which I know he did. He's been betting them to win the Super Bowl pretty much every week. And now it's kind of like Bitcoin, you know. I'm hearing other talking heads talk about the Chargers. They're the hot talk of the town. But yeah, no, I like them as well. I'm rooting for the Ravens' demise for strictly Jared Goff MVP.
Are the Chargers the Bitcoin of the NFL?
Yeah.
Little who's who. Starkey, Monday Night Football. Take us home. Who you got? Are we sweeping?
This feels like a rat line to me. It feels like this should be closer than it is. I'm going to go with Baltimore. I don't know why, but something just I do really like the Chargers, but something in my head is just not allowing me to say it and take them. So I'm going to go with the Ravens and trust my weird brain. And I think Derrick Henry might have another big game. He's kind of been quiet lately. So we need a big King Henry game for fantasy football. Oh, sorry, guys. Can't talk about that. King Henry. Big game.
All
And we
right,
might
gents.
see Deontay Johnson show up for the Ravens. Like, weird trade to not use him at all.
But
He
he's
fell
washed.
on like one of his first routes. Yeah.
He got hurt?
No, he just fell running a route, and I have.
Yeah, he looks horrible.
Yeah.
All right, gents. That wraps
All
us
right.
up. That was episode 19. I just want to say we did the live stream right before we recorded this. Gave the jersey away. Shout out to
So
Seth.
much fun.
So much fun. Shout out to Seth, blue collar guy.
Shout out to you,
cornhole
Seth.
champ.
Thanks for following.
Yeah.
Jersey is coming your way. And I just want to throw this out there, and you guys can tell me no, but I had so much fun on that live stream. I don't know what you guys got going on Sunday, but thoughts on a 1 p.m. slate live stream maybe during the 1 p.m. slate games? Would you guys be down for that?
We were kind of cooking up some ideas before we started this episode for some fun and interesting interactive live streams that we might be able to do. So maybe by even Sunday, Adam, maybe we can come up with something. Because, like, we want to keep it interactive and fun, and, like, I think we can. That was so much fun. It was.
I am probably a game time decision for Sunday, but I owe the listeners something, and it's been eating away at me inside. I still owe 42 wings
So do
from
I.
Applebee's. So
You do.
I would love to get that done sooner rather than later, Starkey. So let me know your schedule so that we can go to Applebee's.
I'll clear my schedule for 42 wing. We'll live stream it. We'll figure it out. We'll do it.
Okay. Because that would be another fun live stream.
Yeah.
Keep the pressures on these guys. Keep the pressure on these guys, and we will do that live stream at Applebee's. And we'll see. Maybe we do it around Christmas time when I'm in town, and we can all go to the same place. If you guys can't do it this weekend,
Great.
but
That would be nice.
But with that being said, make sure
Order the wings to go. 42 of them.
Ooh. With that being said, it is thunderstorming here. That's crazy in November. Like massive lightning and thunder right now. I love a good thunderstorm. All right, I can't get off track. With that being said, shout out to all the listeners. We appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe. Please give us some hot takes in the comments.
Shout out thunderstorms.
Shout out to thunderstorms. What a freaking night, man. Oh, and on that note.